Hey guys, my name is Sonali and you're watching Sonali the Endless River. This is Sonali Reads episode 4. So if you have been following my book review series, I am super happy to say that we have finally reached the 4th book in the 4th week, and I'm so proud of myself because I've not been a reader. So today's book is a very special book. It is a very globally acclaimed book, which is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. I have come across this book multiple times in multiple places, but since I was not a reader, as you guys know already, I was not very keen about reading this book. But then obviously when I started reading, this was one of the first books which I wanted to get my hands on. Yet we are here in number 4. Alright, so before we start about the book and the contents of the book and the main section where I actually discuss the takeaways from the book and the lessons that you guys could take and apply, I'll just tell you a little bit more about the author. Dale Carnegie is a person who has trained thousands of people in the genre of self-help, professional development, public speaking, and so on. So, and he has trained these people across the globe. He has also written books on them. One of the best-selling books amongst that is this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book was first published in the year 1937, and today in 2019 I can still say that all of the facts, figures, all of the examples of the tricks and techniques of the book are 100% accurate, on point. So now that we have learned a bit about the author, let's go about what kind of book this is. So this book is a perfect example of a workbook. I love books wherein the chapters are pretty short, and this book is absolutely like that. So the entire book is divided into like 3 main categories, and all of these categories are divided into small chapters. The best part about this book is that at the end of each chapter there's a one-line takeaway, which is the absolute lesson of that chapter. If you want to know what each chapter taught you, then you can just swipe ahead and find out that last page, like the last page of the chapter, and you'll know what the lesson is about. I get a lot of questions about, how to increase your confidence, how to be a more confident person. We have a fear of public speaking, we want to make more friends, we want to improve our communication. So if you are one of these people, I would really suggest you to watch this video till the end. I'm going to share what I have learned from the book and a couple of tricks and tips I already knew because I was sort of experimenting with people myself. Okay, so the book is divided into 3 major categories. The first category is how to handle people. The second category is how to handle an argument. And the third category is how to become a better leader. Let's go one by one. Let's talk about how to handle people. The book talks about an eternal fact that people are more interested in themselves than they are interested in other people. If you think that's not true, the next time you click a group picture, when you actually review the picture, who is the first person that you look at? We want to see ourselves first, and then we seldom pay attention to the other people. The best way to handle people is to show interest in them. Now, how do you show interest in them? And by interest, I do not mean manipulation or flattering or buttering or any of that sort. By interest, I mean showing genuine interest in people. The first thing you do is you smile. Okay, that's the first impression you give a person when you meet them, irrespective if he or she is a stranger or you've met them after a long time or you've just met them the next day, right? So you smile at that person. That's the number 1 thing. All right. The second thing which you do is you remember their names. We are very attached to our names, and I'm very sure I've met so many people who have kind of like a very twisty name, and they hate it when people misspell their names or mispronounce their names, and it's kind of a turn off. So always remember their names. And if you want to go a notch ahead, then you can remember some facts about them, maybe something about their family, maybe something about their job, maybe something about them, or even further, it's better if you remember their birthdays. People love birthdays, we all love birthdays. So the third thing you will have to do if you want to be likable is you have to become a listener. Like, first of all, people love to talk. So when you meet someone new and if you want to make that person your friend, you have to listen to whatever they have to say. So you have to be a sincere listener. and you have to be an attentive listener. It's not like someone's talking to you and you're fiddling with your phone or you're looking elsewhere. You have to be an attentive listener. Then you have to ask questions, understand what they want to talk about, and keep on asking questions about them. So ask questions about their passions. And the last thing which you need and should always do is appreciate people. Compliment them, appreciate them, encourage them. We want people to be kind and polite. Okay, so let's talk about the second part of the book, which is how to handle arguments. This is the part which I was most interested in, because we all know it's easier to treat people kindly when you're in a good mood, but it's really difficult to do the same when you're pretty angry or when you're in a heated up argument or a conversation. So how do you do that? The best way to win an argument is to avoid it. So how do you avoid an argument? You avoid an argument by, number one, don't pick out faults. We have this habit of, firing back at one another. So when you see that there's a heated up conversation going on, do not try to pick out faults in the other person. Try to find a common ground and try to kind of be a little sympathetic towards the other person. That person could say something from their point of view, they could be right. And if you were in their position, maybe you would have acted the same way. So try to find a common ground. If you have some mistakes, you have to be humble enough to admit that. And once you admit that, okay, fine, I think I'm wrong here and I'm really sorry about it, you put that person in a guilt trap. And once they're in a guilt trap, they'll all automatically put their temper down and you'll find a common ground to talk about. Another technique he talks about is called the Socrates technique of saying yes, yes. So when you see that there's a tension going on in the conversation between two people, you can, you have to make the person say consecutive yeses. So how do you say that? You say that by saying the most obvious things to that person and knowing that that person will say yes. If you have a friend who's pretty mad at you for not going out and stuff, you have to get them to say yes, yes. So how do you get them to say yes, yes? For example, they called you out for a movie and you had to complete an assignment. So you have to tell them that, hey, so you do understand that if I don't complete this assignment, I'll get into trouble, right? She'll say yes. Alright, so one yes is gone. So then you can go, you do understand that I really want to go out with you, but just because it's assignment, I can't go out. She'll say yes again. So after this two consecutive yeses, automatically she'll want to say more yeses, she'll be more submissive, and you'll get your way easily. The third and final part of the book talks about leadership. How can you be a better leader? So let's talk about a few leadership techniques. The first leadership technique is about praising. Praise and encourage your employees, your team members for the minutest of things. Make them feel good, make them feel important, make them feel that their efforts are being appreciated. Number two, after you praise them, don't say something like, hey, you're a wonderful person and you've been putting so much of efforts, but I really want you to put more efforts. That's like that's making me feel that you just said the complimenting thing just because you wanted to say the other, just because you want to punch me in the face later. So you can say that, I really appreciate you working so hard, and I'm very sure that if you continue to work harder, you'll get more results out of the work that you're putting in. The third technique to become a better leader is to always share your mistakes. You have to understand that you are a leader, so your experience, your expertise comes from years of practice. That may not be the case for your intern or your junior or your sibling for that matter. So you have to share your mistakes. You have to tell them that, when I was your age or when I was your position, I did the same mistakes, and here's how I, kind of improved myself. Give them a common ground to relate to you. After you actually kind of, pointed out a mistake in a subtle matter, you have to encourage them to kind of improve that mistake. So you have to encourage them in a way that they don't make the mistake, don't blow the mistake more out of proportion. So you can just tell them it's a very little mistake, you'll just solve it like that. Encourage them to, don't make them feel as if they've made a grave mistake or they've committed a sin. Make it seem very casual so that they're encouraged to improve themselves. And the final tip for leadership is people are obsessed with titles. So if you can give your team members or your employees or your colleagues some title, some supervisor or some senior, something or the other. We love titles, and once you give someone a title, they get the feeling of authority and they want to live up to that authority. So titles work wonders. Alright, so we have reached the end of the video. the main conclusion of the book and the video is 3 main agendas. The first thing is you have to make people feel important. Every person is important and they want to be appreciated. So practice sincerely appreciating people. I don't mean flattering. This book doesn't teach you like influence. It doesn't teach you flattering. It doesn't teach you buttering. It teaches you how to be a sincere, kind and polite person. Do not hurt their ego. Don't make them feel bad. Don't yell at people in front of like 5 or 2 other people. That literally hurts a person's ego, right? So don't do that. They'll never solve or listen to you anytime. And the third thing, like I always say, that be sincere. Find out that there has to be one quality in that person that you genuinely appreciate. So look after that quality, find out that quality and genuinely compliment that person about that quality. So yeah, we have reached the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really want you guys to engage in the comment section below. Let me know what is your biggest takeaway from the book, from this video, and let me know what are the difficulties that you are facing in terms of communication, confidence, public speaking, or these kind of things, like making friends and networking and stuff like that. And if there's anything I can help you out with, I will do that for sure. Follow me on all of my social media handles down below, and I will see you next week. Bye bye. See ya.